How we doing, vetters? Welcome. Let's get to this. Now, Dr. Stephen Greer, who you may or may not know, is very divisive in this community, of course, has recently come out with some information. This is a two-part video. So the first part is Dr. Stephen Greer came out on a podcast saying that a whistleblower of his, Michael Herrera, will be coming out in a few weeks with some videos to help support his claims, right? That basically these videos will show non-human intelligence craft and bodies. That's right, alien bodies, right? And that will be coming out in a few weeks. So we'll get to that clip in a second. The other part that I'm going to talk about in today's video is that allegedly Dr. Stephen Greer's Dead Man Switch Manifesto, right, a 33-page document detailing everything he knows, has allegedly been leaked. But there's a caveat. I'll get to that in a moment. First, roll the clip.
Now, in advance of that, because what he's going to bring forward would be, I understand if he can get this done in the next 3 weeks or so, would be the videos, the evidence, the proof, not only of the NHI, as they call them, non-human intelligence craft and bodies and beings, but of the man-made ones, and also of some operations that involve the transport of humans in experimental operations from distressed areas around the world. Now, as you know, we have a whistleblower who's a Marine who came across this in 2009 in Indonesia after there was an earthquake and tsunami, and he came across an operation of what looked like an octagonal disc that was about 300 feet across, size football field, that was levitating above a clearing in the jungle. And his platoon came across this. They were almost killed by these operators who were American, but did not look like they were any part of any armed forces insignia or uniform. And they had crated up and were transporting humans who were barely alive. And they said, look, you can come with us. And then those were moved over into, we found later, experimental programs at some of these STIFs, these subterranean facilities, underground bases. So all of this is a very complex story. They have the goods, they have the proof. This will be the biggest disclosure related to these sort of issues in history. Well, I say it's going to be the biggest disclosure in human history, period.
Okay, so that's interesting. So apparently the most important discovery in human history will be made in a few weeks, as long as so-and-so can get it together, right? Michael Herrera and maybe some other whistleblowers, I guess. That's who he's talking about, Michael Herrera, right? Who I have covered extensively on the channel, probably the most extensive research I've done on anybody in this community since I started. I'll put some links in the description of everything having to do with Michael Herrera. You see, I have the only interview with Michael Herrera's former team leader, Nathan, who came forward and did one interview with me, who was with Michael during this time in Indonesia, where he claims in 2009 during a, hurricane, tsunami, earthquake, relief effort to go in and help people in Indonesia. He claimed that he got sent on a secret mission aboard the ship. Mind you, he's on his first deployment ever. And he's a cook, and they invite him to go on this secret mission away from everybody else. And during this secret mission, he comes across a UFO that is trafficking humans, and not just any humans, psionic humans, hybrids who can control alien spacecraft. And they use these psionic humans, these hybrids, they connect them to machines, and then they use them to lure alien UFOs in, and then the humans shoot down the UFOs, and then we capture it and recover it, and then reverse engineer. And a lot of the UFOs you see in the sky are actually alien reproduction vehicles made by humans. They're not alien at all. right? That's Michael Herrera's story. And there's even more to it because they kill those hybrids, right? And so Michael came across this, and now apparently he is going to be showing evidence, videos, photos to prove it. Okay, I'm here for it. When's that coming? Because according to Dr. Stephen Greer, that will be the biggest disclosure in human history, right? So, okay. Hey, I will wait for the evidence. But I have to be honest, it doesn't look good. Because anytime someone makes a prediction in this community, it always falls flat somehow. I don't know. I mean, we've been told we're getting disclosure a lot, and here we are, right? So, all right, well, we'll wait and see. Let me know what you think in the comments about this.
He has a lot of credibility to speak against Herrera because he was his team leader. He provided a photograph showing two people on a helicopter, and Nathan claims that it shows Michael Herrera on a helicopter when they flew into Indonesia together. And the thing that's really important about that photograph, if it is Michael and if it is taken on the day that Nathan says, it shows that they don't have rifles. And rifles are a big, important part of, I wouldn't say important, but it's just a key detail in Michael's testimony.
No, I get it. Is there any way for me to get that photo or no?
Yeah, for sure. There's two people in that photo. The other guy, pretty confident who it is. I've tried to reach out to him, but I haven't been able to get in touch. I also haven't been able to get in touch with any other squad member that Nathan says, was there. And he can't even remember. The only people he can remember are Michael, the other guy in that photo, and he thinks maybe one other person. He can't remember anyone else from the squad.
Who's the gentleman you told me that I should speak to? Is it Nathan?
That's the guy. Yeah, Nathan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no one's spoken to him yet, really.
You think you could put me in touch with him?
I can reach out to him and see. Yeah, I'll reach out to him.
He's willing. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, to be fair, I'd love to talk to Michael. Do you think you could help with that? I mean, I could reach out on my own, but
yeah,
I'd be
definitely.
more than happy to do that.
I can talk to him. I do know that he is taking a little bit of a break from doing interviews and stuff right now.
All right. So the other part of Dr. Stephen Greer that's come out recently, again, is allegedly his dead man switch manifesto. Now, what is a dead man switch or a dead man's trigger, right? It's essentially saying, if something happens, right? Let's just take me, for example. Let's say if I said, hey, if something happens to me, X, I'm going to release all the information I have, right? And I've secured it in a secret place, and people have access to it. And if I perish, something happens to me, then that information will get released, right? That's a dead man switch. That's a dead man's trigger, right? And so I have a clip of Dr. Stephen Greer talking about it, and then we'll get to the actual leak.
What's called a dead man trigger, which means something happens to me. There's information I'm holding that will hit the internet, and it'd be the end of this group. I'm actually better off alive than dead for them, because being alive, they can just marginalize me, defame me, call me names, blacklist me from media. How do you figure we have a free market economy if the most important technologies and scientific discoveries of the last 100 years have been kept off the market ruthlessly? Some inventor invents some really cool energy generation device, and they're offered, here's $20 million by a corporate entity. The corporation buys it, puts it on a shelf, they've gotten rights to it, and it's never released. But that happens all the time with these technologies. You'll see all the different strategies that have been used over the last 100 years to hoover up, like a vacuum cleaner, all these science and technologies. Given that level of corruption, how can anyone claim that we have a truly free market economy if we're all slaves to oil?
All right, so this is basically what happened the other day. This person right here and a few other people tweeted out that Dr. Stephen Greer's, dead man's trigger, whatever, had leaked, right? Here it is. But when you looked a little bit further, turns out this document has been online for years. It didn't just leak. It's been online. So Stephen Greer's dead man's trigger has been online. It's kind of interesting because, I mean, if that's everything, You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting that already leaked out. Right? You can see right here. It's just, 33 pages. I'll put a link in the description. You can go check it out yourself. But that kind of hurts your dead man's trigger if it's already out. Now what do? You make another one? Part 2. Part 2. Dead man's trigger, part 2. The real dead man switch. So I don't know, guys. It's an interesting read, I guess, to go through some of it. But again, there's no evidence. It's just words, right? With no documentation, no photos, no videos, no evidence, to help provide. No context to tell you where that information is coming from, right? No index. There's no nothing to help you understand where all this information is coming from. So I don't know. Guess it's up to us, and we'll just have to wait a few weeks. But let me know what you think in the comments, y'all. All right. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. I've got a banger. I've been working on it for a few days. It was actually going to be my video today, but just there's a lot to it, y'all. And it involves Chris Bledsoe, Tim Taylor, NASA, secret space travel, Jesse Michaels, Townsend Brown, the Bahamas, Diana Pasolka, a lot. And we'll get into it tomorrow. All right, y'all. Every day's a gift. Peace!
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.